Hi everybody, this is Lara at pureelliottwave.com. I'm going to be presenting as part of this FX Traders Edge Elliott Wave forecasting event on the 17th of August. I'm putting a link in the description box for this video. Please click on the link and go on through to this page and register for this event. You'll be giving me a lot of support by doing that. So that's what I get your support, but you get a whole bunch of free stuff. You get an hour's access to my analysis. I'll be covering Bitcoin and the S&P 500 live with you. And if I have time, I'll also cover NASDAQ. But wait, there's more. If you register for this event, you'll also have an exclusive offer to sign up for a free month of my Pure Elliott Wave Weekly on my website, pureelliottwave.com. That's once a week analysis of Bitcoin and the S&P 500 and gold and US oil for a whole month free. But wait, there's even more. If you register for this event, you're also going to get the opportunity to sign up and get a free copy of my ebook, Pure Elliott Wave. The rules in my book, which took me years to write, the rules are exactly the same as Frost & Preachter's classic Elliott Wave principle, but I've written it to try and be as clear and concise as possible. But wait, there's more. You'll also go in a draw to win one free lifetime access to my online course, Learn Pure Elliott Wave, which is normally priced at $395. Not only am I a CMT, Chartered Market Technician, and not only do I have over a decade of experience, I've been analysing markets since 2008, I'm also a trained, professionally qualified New Zealand secondary school teacher. I used to teach high school science, biology and geography. So coming from that angle, I've created some totally unique learning exercises as part of this course. If you're a kinesthetic learner, you'll learn by doing, and I find those learners the hardest to reach. So I've got some truly unique learning exercises to teach you Elliott Wave structures. There's 20 lessons. Most of them have quizzes or further reading, and as part of your access to the course, you'll have me supporting you via email to help you with your learning Elliott Wave. So there's a whole bunch of really good reasons for you to click on this link and register with FX Traders Edge, and if you do so, you'll be giving me a lot of support, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Hi everybody, this is Lara with an updated analysis for XRP on 10th of August 2022. It looks like XRP might have formed a sustainable low, and I'm going to have a go at some targets, but before I have a go at targets, I've got a range. Primary 3 could reach from 30.09 to 158.49. Cycle Wave 3 could reach from 61.94 to 328.33. Elliott Wave analysis first, classic analysis last. And the classic analysis supports the main Elliott Wave count that sees primary wave 2 over here. From this low to this high on XRP, I can see a pretty good looking 5-wave impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With 3 extended, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 a triangle, and 5 extended. I've noted the lengths of the third waves in relation to their first waves on this chart. Intermediate 3 is 16.11 times length of intermediate 1. Primary 3 is 85.52 the length of primary wave 1. Given those possible lengths, 16.11 to 85.52, I've added those to primary 1 and 3 within cycle 3 and to cycle 3 compared to cycle 1, and that's where I get those potential ranges from that I just outlined at the beginning of the video. If we've got a 5 up here, a 3 back complete here, looking now for another 5 up, it'll be labelled cycle wave 3. Cycle wave 1 lasted just over 2 years. Cycle 2 also just lasted just over 2 years, and it's a 94% correction or reduction in market value. It doesn't look that deep because this is a semi-log scale, but it is very deep in percentage terms and in terms of price distance travelled, which is the important metric for your profits. Cycle 1 and 2 lasted both of them just over 2 years. Cycle degree waves should last from 1 to several years, and so this degree looks like the correct labelling for these movements. Cycle wave 3 may only subdivide as an impulse. It must move beyond the end of 1, and it must move far enough beyond the end of 1 to then allow cycle 4 to unfold and remain above wave 1 price territory. Those are a couple of the core Elliott Wave rules. If these targets are wrong, they're going to be too low. I'm using some Fibonacci ratios, but note 11.09 and 16.35 is like the minimum. This was 16.11, the length of intermediate 1. Primary 3 was a lot longer, 85.52 times the length of primary 1. So if these targets are wrong, they won't be high enough, but I'm having a stab at some Elliott Wave targets using Fibonacci ratios within the Elliott Wave count. Cycle 3 may only subdivide as an impulse, and that'll be labelled primary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it has to meet all of those core Elliott Wave rules. Within cycle 3, primary 2, if it continues further, may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.51271. Let's take a look at the first weekly chart, this low down here, this point down here. Primary wave 1 subdivides as a leading expanding diagonal. Primary 2 subdivides as a double zigzag. Primary 3 may have begun at this low at 0.29058. Along the way up, if we see a new high above 0.61450 by any amount at any time frame, a fraction of a cent on a tick chart would be enough to add quite substantial confidence to this main weekly wave count. Thereafter, if we see a new high above this channel on the weekly or daily chart, that would add further strong confidence to the view of a sustainable low down here. So, depending on your risk appetite, I'm providing price points and channels for you to use to have confidence that a sustainable low has been found. The target for cycle 3 is for it to reach 11.09 times the length of cycle 1 at 36.73. If that target is wrong, it will be too low. At the daily chart level, we're looking at the end of primary 2 now, this point down here, and now we're looking at the start of primary wave 3. Primary wave 3 may only subdivide as an impulse, and that will be labelled intermediate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am labelling intermediate wave 1 incomplete and beginning with a series of 1, 2, 3 overlapping first and second waves. This wave count expects there is a winding up of energy to be released in upward momentum. An increase in upward momentum with support from volume would be expected from this wave count in coming weeks. When the structure of intermediate wave 1 may be a complete 5-wave motive structure, then another, probably a bear market, a deep pullback or a consolidation for intermediate 2 would be expected to begin. It will be expected to last at least a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months or so. It may be very deep in relation to intermediate 1, and it may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.29058. So that's upcoming. Bull markets do not move in straight lines. There will be deep pullbacks and time-consuming consolidations, particularly in the early stages of a bull market for a cryptocurrency. Elliott Wave counts give that structure. Let's take a look at an alternate at the weekly chart level. It is also possible that a final fifth wave may be completed. One more low may be necessary to complete the bear market. This wave count is judged to be an alternate, and we'll see why when we get to the classic technical analysis charts. It's possible primary 2 could be an incomplete double zigzag, W, X, Y, subdividing A, B, C, with C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A final fifth wave could be required to complete it. Along the way, minute 4, if it continues any further, may not move into wave 1 price territory above 0.61450. Even if this wave count turns out to be wrong, it's still going to be useful, because if we see a new high above this price point, that means it's invalidated, and that's why we can then have more confidence in a bullish wave count. When your bearish alternate is invalid, it gives more confidence to a bullish wave count, and vice versa, if that's what your wave counts are. Primary 2 may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.11509. Okay, that's the Elliott Wave analysis. Now a look at classic analysis, weekly and daily charts. At the weekly chart level, there are 2 bullish candlestick patterns at the last low. Here's a hammer candlestick, and here's a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. The bullish engulfing pattern does not have support from volume. That's okay though, because given the past price history of these cryptocurrencies of sustained lows, previously sustained lows, the bullish candlestick patterns, if they occur, don't always have support from volume. They do tend to be rather weak off their lows, which makes identifying lows for these markets particularly difficult. On balance, volume broke below support. That was followed by downward movement. That bearish signal is probably now resolved. On balance, volume is coming up to test resistance at prior support. This may assist to halt a rise in price. We may get some consolidation or pullback here before price can move on higher. Look out for next resistance at 0.51. ADX indicates a downward trend still. This is a lagging indicator. It's based on a 14-week average. If there is a sustainable low down here, it's going to still take a few more weeks for ADX to catch up. But still, at the weekly chart level, ADX does indicate a downward trend. However, RSI reached oversold at the weekly chart level, as did Money Flow Index. Neither of them exhibit bullish divergence, but for the downward trend, they did reach extreme oversold. And so, perversely, that is a bullish indicator, and when we read that in conjunction with two bullish candlestick patterns, we give those candlestick patterns weight. This is one thing that leads me to suspect that this low could be sustained for XRP. ATR declining as price falls and will probably continue to decline. It normally does during the early stages of a bull market. At the daily chart level, here is the last low. There is a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern here as well. It too lacks support from volume, but again, slightly concerning, but not enough to say that this low can't be sustained. It could be. Price is essentially moving sideways with slightly higher highs and higher lows, but lots of choppy overlapping movement and overall a decline in volume. Upward sessions are seeing a bit more push than downward sessions though, so I would read the volume profile as slightly bullish, but not clearly so. Again, when we look back at past prior sustained lows, the volume profile up off those lows for these markets is not always clearly immediately bullish. On balance, volume has a new weak range, no signal. ADX slightly declining, won't take much to make it turn up, and then it would indicate an upward trend at the daily chart level. At the low here, RSI reached oversold and exhibited divergence. Money Flow Index also reached oversold and exhibited strong bullish divergence. ADX told us the downward trend was very extreme. It was above both DX lines and above 45. Given these conditions with extreme conditions for the downward trend, when we see bullish candlestick patterns and price starting to make higher highs and higher lows after that, we give those candlestick patterns weight. This chart suggests it's possible that this low could be sustained. If this low is not sustained, I would expect a new low to come sooner rather than later and to be the final low of the bear market. So either this is the low, or according to the alternate Elliott Wave, count one final low before it's over. More likely, I think that is the low. Stochastics neutral, money flow and RSI also neutral, ATR decreasing as price falls and declining as price moves sideways and slightly higher. A bit of weakness in this early upward movement is absolutely normal and to be expected behaviour if you look back at the price history of these markets and how they behave off their lows, and that's again one reason why those lows are so difficult to identify. But every time I'm looking at these cryptocurrency charts, no matter what the market, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum and all of those other little altcoins I look at, I keep seeing quite a lot of technical evidence that these lows, the last recent lows, are reasonably likely to be sustained. That's all from me with your XRP analysis today. I hope everyone's having an awesome week.